This is The Red Lens. This is Cris Von Erich, and this is The Red Lens. And as always, I am here with my faithful sidekick, my disciple, Franklin. How are you this evening?
I'm doing okay, Cris. Good evening to you and all of our listeners.
Good evening, Tay. How are you?
Hi, how are you?
Good. I'm doing very well. I want to welcome you onto the Red Lens here. This is Cris Von Erich, and I have to say that Franklin, this is actually almost like a retro kind of show because we are actually going to be discussing something that really, to me, used to be like a lost art form or even a thing, which is phone companionship, should we call it? Where gentlemen can call up and fulfill some needed fantasies, or even just have a companion to talk about things, maybe not getting certain things at home. But Tay, could you tell us really basically what like when did you sit down and say, you know what, I've heard about this, whether it's through conversations of people? How did you come about on deciding, hey, I think this phone, this phone operator companion thing, we can still do this?
Actually, I was in college when I started, and I got a lot of compliments on my voice, and I got to the point where I ran out of student loans. So, most girls would probably hop on the pole, but I started Googling to see like what it is, that I could do outside of that, and I came upon an ad for I like to call an erotic communicator, and I called the number and I got started. My first night, I made about $750,
Oh my
and
goodness.
yeah. So from there, I realized, like, okay, I'm working for a company and they're taking, some of my money. And I decided to go on my own. And there you go. That's what I decided. I was good at something that I didn't know I was good at.
Franklin, I'm learning new vernacular here. An erotic communicator.
I like that very much. So that's a good thing. $700. That's a pretty good haul.
See, so
There's
when
something to be said about junior achievement.
there you go, and this way, guys out there, if you're getting in trouble and the missus comes down and she's like, "What the hell are you doing?" You could just be like, "Hey, yo, relax. It's my erotic communicator."
There you go.
What is the clientele that you usually see that your the people you employ actually seek out? Like who are these people?
Like who they are, like what they do for a living.
Yeah, like a living,
Doctors, lawyers.
All right.
Those are usually doctors and lawyers and, investors, any of that sort, that people that don't really have the time to have regular intimacy with women because they're traveling and they're doing things. Those are usually my clientele.
Now, do you of course, this is like a brave new world here. So, do you have male operators as well?
I do have male operators. I do. They make a lot of money.
I bet they do. So,
Really? Wow.
I mean, that can't be a big percentage there.
Well, there's not a big percentage that we have. It's a lot more women than we have men. But when the men do come in, they make a lot of money.
They see that now. That's something I wouldn't have thought of, Franklin.
Me neither. Actually, I was very surprised that when she said that. I was just, wow, that's very interesting. are there shifts that they work, 12 hours, 10 hours type of a thing?
That's completely up to them. See, when I train, you're not employed. You're not employed with me. You're your own entity.
Oh,
So I just train you on how to basically duplicate exactly what it is that I have done. So
You see,
they can work whenever they want.
this is amazing. You see that this is not. This is actually this was a bad part of the show that became like a good part. But I'm gonna have to edit it because Franklin is over here asking all the questions that I was going to ask anyway. So this is,
there was one question that I don't think that you were going to ask, but and it's kind of a geeky bit of a question. But when you are all of your operators, are they in one particular locale, or do they farm out the lines to each individual's house type of a thing?
Everyone's in their own individual house.
Okay, okay.
You can
yet
be
another.
anywhere as long as you have a phone. If you have a phone with internet, you can log in, log out, text, because we also get paid for texting. You can text, you get paid for emails, you can email, whatever it is.
Wow, good.
In terms of the website here, I have it up. This is
Yeah.
this is where people can go if they're interested in, enrolling in the program to know how to get things started, etc.
Yes, this is my program that I put together. You can pick a plan and we'll get you started. When you get started, one thing I have to let people know is that you do not play yourself. No one knows who you are. This is like I like to call it like a catfish, but you're literally playing someone else, and you get 25 or more pictures of the person that you're playing. Everything is legal. Everything contract.
So this is like an adult, UNICEF where you sponsor a child. So, now you're just sponsoring your love interest.
That's what it sounds like to me.
You can get a picture every day. Oh, what is my girlfriend doing? Well, maybe not. What did you say?
No, I couldn't hear. I couldn't hear you. Sorry.
No, well, it's probably better that way. So, it was just a little humor at the university's expense. So,
So yeah. So you don't play yourself.
How dare
and,
you?
You know, you'll get everything so you can get started. It's like a 1, 2, 3 thing.
so one price like gets somebody started in this,
Yes.
and you make your own hours.
Yep. You make your own hours.
Okay.
That's
Now,
actually very interesting.
Why not? And it's probably like a financial thing, and the aspect of and now 2 questions. Number 1, are you the only kind of caretaker of this entity, or are there multiple people involved and they do different jobs? Like, are you the administrator?
Yes, I am.
Okay. All right.
Yes, I am. I have people that does different jobs, but yeah.
Right.
CEO.
Right.
Yeah. Now, why not just go like the extra mile or the extra piece? And there are other services like webcams and the ChatterBait universe and all that stuff where you got girls on cam doing things. Now, obviously, that's probably a higher price point to kind of get things started, but why not do that? Well, why not build that?
Well, one, if some of my girls want to do something like that, they completely can. I can always direct them in that way. I personally don't really care to be seen that much on cam, and a lot of people don't want to. And people think that you do get paid a lot more when you're working for like Chatham Base or whatever. They actually take a really high cut of your money. So it doesn't really matter.
Oh,
You're giving them more money than you're taking home.
yeah, that's true. And I didn't know that. I didn't know that those services, if a woman or a guy wanted to sign up and do a web, a nightly or whatever they do, I didn't know they took that much money.
Yeah, they do.
And what was that percentage again?
They take like almost near like half of the percentage when you do like
Wow.
chatter based, like stuff like that. So you're paying them because they basically are doing the marketing and bringing you the guys and stuff like that. And sometimes
Sometimes what?
it's funny. Sometimes how they
Oh,
structure how you get paid is kind of funny. Like I'm not too sure on that one. I know that the way I do it, I looked into it a little bit. It was just way too confusing for me. So I was just like, no. I know that if I work this amount of hours, I'm gonna get this amount of money or this amount of minutes. Like I charge $2. The minimum that I charge is $2.25 a minute. The most I charge is $2.99 a minute. So if I work 10 minutes, I'm okay, you know?
you just got to talk really slow. You know.
Yeah, that's the trick.
Hey, how was your day?
This is actually the Cris Von Erich $4 a minute voice.
That's right. Yes.
That's
That's a
what you hear is what he gets for his $4 a minute voice. Hey now.
So we should actually we should do something like that, right? To get people to I'll do the Streamlabs like slower. Streamlabs.com / now uh, now not to be a party pooper, and again forgive me if in my exile for 2 minutes this was already covered, but what do you, and I know we're gonna get it, Franklin. We're gonna get emails, things like that. This girl,
Lambasted.
yeah, this girl is being trashy. She's exploiting men and women. What do you say to people that are throwing those kind of daggers at you, or even people that 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 run these kind of services? Because you're not the only one. So
Well, what do I say to people that say things like that I'm
yeah,
exploiting?
like I said, obviously there's going to be whether it's the
The,
moral
nay-
majority
the
or
naysayers.
right, yeah, the naysayers that
The
you know,
naysayers.
yeah,
You know, you know what? I haven't come into too much in contact with the naysayers, to be completely honest with you, in the years that I have been doing this. Um, I've heard like, why don't you get a real job or something like that. I've heard things like that, but it's like I make more money sitting at home. That doesn't even make any sense to lay in my pajamas. Like doesn't even make any sense to get out of my bed. Like I can watch Law and Order and and make whatever they made in a week. It doesn't make any sense. So
you can make
I
Law and Order sexy. You can.
yeah,
Yeah.
I can. you know,
You want to see my
you know,
sidearm?
Hmm.
those people are just not open. If it's not for them, it's not
Oh
for them.
my!
But
Yeah, no,
um, there's
you
always
were
a
saying,
market.
yeah, those people. I agree. And I'm a I'm very much like a libertarian. In regards to, as long as you're not out there like killing people and hurting them. If a guy or a girl wants to get their kicks on speaking to somebody and hearing something, and I've heard this, and Tay and Franklin together, correct me if I'm wrong, but I've heard a lot of people when they get callers or whatever, even when we go higher with prostitution, a lot of these guys come in, it's like they're having conversations. They like the companionship.
Yes, yes, that's true.
Am I right on that?
That's very true. I have a lot of my clients. I have repeat clients for over 2, 3 years, that, I know what's going on in their life and what's happening what's going on with their children. I know a lot, some know a lot about me too. But it's just casual, sometimes conversation, stressful day. We talk before any of that gets into. I even have clients that tell me they love me, like, I love you, I miss you. If I go, if I go off the grid for too long, like, they're like, where are you at? Like, kind of just going crazy that I'm not around, but it's
I have girls that do that to me. Stop that show. You don't have your show that week. What the hell are you doing? No, but I do believe you, Tay. I believe that there is a population of guys now. Again, and we joke. A lot of people joke. They joke, the defective dudes. They're gross looking or anything like that. But hey, let's not kid ourselves. There are guys that are handicapped. They're in a bad way, and this kind of stuff is an outlet for them to at least communicate and not have to go out there and put themselves out there. So,
well, there are avenues that are available to some, and there are avenues that are not available to others.
Mm.
And this actually just fills a void, basically.
Mm.
Right. And some people are just really shy, and they just don't want to actually have someone touching them or, being next to them. I mean, this is quote unquote safe sex.
Yeah,
that's how I'd look at it.
Yeah, I would say, outside of locking yourself in your room and watching porn or something, this is definitely the safest alternative. That's for sure.
Right,
So you have a Facebook page as well in terms of communication. Now is that more of a one-on-one personal communication for you, as opposed to the university link? I would imagine.
Yeah, like, you can, if you want to ask me questions, my Instagram, my Facebook, yeah, you can definitely you can contact me either which one.
Okay.
It's always me that answers.
And you work Sundays?
No.
I
don't work Sundays or Mondays.
This episode is completely off the rails because even my jokes are getting friggin' knocked down. So I can't stay on the air. The jokes are flying by the boards. Oh my God! Hey, did you guys talk about what is the average again of a particular person once they get their feet under them? What could they pull in a week or a month?
The average girl that I have, they can pull in. I have some numbers, but $3,000 to $5,000 a month.
Jeez. Oh.
And then the highest I've seen is about 20,000 a month.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I am right now. I am opening up a Red Lens hotline, so you can call in and
20 G's, eh?
what was it? What was that, Tay? $2.49 a minute. So we'll do that. We'll start there.
That ain't hay. That's pretty good. That's pretty good wampum. Pretty good money.
All right. Well, now, Tay, what is your plan for this type of business, and if you even have gotten or brainstormed this avenue, 5 years down the line, this business model? Is it just growing it out more? Is it going more international?
Well, yes, I want to have a bigger Canadian, expansion, but also, like, my particular business is really to empower women in either avenue that they choose to go through. They can use their voice, they can use their bodies, they can use their brain, whatever. So that's where I see five years down the line, us being a little bit more in Canada.
Canada, they're cheap up there. You don't want to use Canadians. The money doesn't
Canadians
convert.
call me.
What?
Canadians call me. Australians call me. I have people in United Kingdom that call me. Yeah.
Hey now.
Well,
Wow.
that's good.
Hey, how much can I get for this toonie?
What do you say?
How much can I get for this toonie?
What is that? A Canadian expression?
Yeah, I think that's
I figured.
Yeah, I figured I'd give it a try.
I figured Franklin would throw that one in there. Yeah. Tay, again, I want to thank you for coming on and shedding a light on an area which, again, I thought was long since deceased. I have my little ode to the 1-900 number, because that's what I remember them as being. 1-900 party or whatever the hell it was.
Or just the basic 976, but you
Yeah.
might not remember that.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's way back.
I'm sure
But,
Miss T don't remember anything because she sounds too young for that either. So.
I know.
That one.
But again, the university. What did you say?
I said I don't know.
What was
that?
that?
The 976. I don't know that one.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
well,
You're too young for that.
There was many variations on that one.
Don't know much about that.
We're not going to go into the gory details on this particular program, but again, Tay's links. I'm going to put them up here again to display. The university link is right here. There's no way I'm going to say that because it's all hyphenated. Just basically H-E-university, etc. It's right there for everybody. The Instagram page where you can find her, it is instagram.com/fairy homemother 1. And then the Facebook is the exact same thing, facebook.com/fairy homemother 1. So Tay, again, I want to thank you so much for hopping on here and helping us out. And I wish you the best of luck. I really do.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.